Hello and welcome back to JinWoo Recaps. This is my recap for the anime Campfire Cooking in Another World with my absurd skills. If you enjoy my recaps, please think about subscribing and help out the new guy by watching to the end. The anime starts off with 4 hero candidates being summoned to another world. A man appraisals the candidate's ability, and all 3 heroes gained extraordinary abilities. However, our protagonist, a 27-year-old named Mukouda Tsuyoshi, acquired a useless garbage skill called online grocery. Mukouda meets with the king afterwards and informs the king that he's not cut out for hero work. Mukouda receives a few gold coins and decides to live a normal life without exposing himself as an otherworlder. Mukouda blends in with the others and goes to an inn, where he views his abilities and realizes he has an item box skill, which allows him to store anything. Mukouda tries his online grocery skill and realizes it's just like a grocery store. Mukouda then purchases a few items which magically forms from the air. The next morning, Mukouda hitches a ride to a nearby town named Keels. As they are traveling, Mukouda chats with a merchant who informs him that only about 1 in 1,000 people can obtain the item box skill. The merchant also tells Mukouda that the appraisal skill can only be obtained by otherworlders. Later, we see that all transports are suspended due to the kingdom's order for war. Mukouda asks a guild if he can hire some escorts to the kingdom of Venin, to which the guild introduces a C-rank adventurer Fenrir, who accepts to escort him. However, Mukouda pays a huge sum of 8 gold coins for the escort, due to the increase in similar requests. Mukouda and Fenrir's party head out the next morning, and they stop for lunch. Mukouda prepares soup and sandwiches for Fenrir and his party, and they are all surprised by how good it tastes. Mukouda is pleased to hear it, but he knows he can't tell he used his online grocery skill for the ingredients, as this could reveal he is from another world. Afterwards, Mukouda and the others continue on their journey, when suddenly, moths and a boar attack them. Fortunately, Fenrir and his party makes light work of them. After that, Mukouda offers Fenrir to store the boar meat in his item box. Mukouda and the others continue their journey and stop to have dinner early. This time, Fenrir and his party stare at Mukouda eagerly to see what Mukouda will cook. However, Mukouda tells them he's shy and asks them to wait, as he does not want them to see him using his online grocery skill. Later, we see Mukouda cook a French dish and present it to the party. Fenrir and the party try his food, and they gulp it right away and ask for more. The party talks about how they feel more energetic and stronger after eating Mukouda's foods. This confuses Mukouda, so he uses his appraisal skill on them and realizes they really have gotten stronger. Mukouda finds out his foods from the other world are packed with boosting attributes, and is worried that the kingdom that summoned him will enslave him. On the other hand, a menacing figure watches them from afar. Mukouda and the party travel the next morning through various places and reach a forest. The party decides to make camp, and Mukouda prepares dinner. This time, Mukouda uses ingredients from this world to make dinner. As the party is enjoying their food, out of nowhere, a Fenrir arrives and demands their food. After Mukouda has satisfied the Fenrir's hunger, the Fenrir appreciates his cooking skills and tells him he will form a familiar contract with Mukouda. Mukouda tries to refuse, but is scared, and makes the contract. After, the Fenrir asks Mukouda to give him a name, to which Mukouda names the Fenrir as Fel. Dawn breaks, and Mukouda and the party near the border of Venin Kingdom where they stop for lunch. Fel demands Mukouda to cook meat, to which Mukouda tells Fel to hunt something to cook, as Fel eats a lot. Fel leaves to hunt, and the party is impressed Mukouda can order Fel around. Fel brings a rock bird, and Mukouda asks the party to separate the meat in exchange for the rock bird parts. After they all had eaten, they arrive at the border of Venin Kingdom, where they are stopped by the kingdom's guards. The kingdom guards inform them they can only enter if Mukouda can keep Fel under his control. Mukouda assures them by ordering Fel around like a boss he is.
Emotional damage!
After that, Mukouda and the party enter the kingdom. where Mukouda reveals he wants to travel around the world. Werner suggests Mukouda registers at a merchant or adventurer's guild to avoid paying entry tax when entering new kingdoms. Mukouda signs a completion letter and bids farewell to the party. Mukouda goes to the merchant guild and gets an Iron Merchant Guild card successfully. After that, Mukouda crashes at an inn and cooks many delicious steaks for Fel, while he cooks rice for himself to enjoy. The next day, Mukouda heads to the merchant guild to sell salt and black pepper, which he bought from his online grocery. However, he was able to sell 5 copper coin worth of goods for 17 gold coins due to the high quality. Later, we see Mukouda at the Adventurers Guild getting an Adventurers Guild card. However, the guild card will expire unless Mukouda completes a quest every month. The next day, Mukouda heads to collect some herbs for one of his quests. At that time, Fel puts a barrier on Mukouda and leaves to hunt. Mukouda uses his appraisal skill and finds the herbs easily, so he prepares spaghetti for lunch. Fel returns with a rock bird and tells Mukouda he has stashed more monsters away at a safe place to collect later. Mukouda and Fel enjoy their spaghetti and go to collect the stashed away monsters. Mukouda and Fel head to the Adventurers Guild to hand the monsters to a butcher. The butcher is shocked by how many monsters Fel slayed. Mukouda tells the butcher they want all the meat and would like to sell the parts to the guild. The butcher tells Mukouda to return tomorrow, to collect the meat and money for the parts. The next day, Mukouda and Fel arrive and collect the meat and rewards. However, Mukouda is shocked when he gets 202 gold coins for the parts. Mukouda and Fel decide to leave the town and have dinner after a while. Mukouda asks Fel to choose any food he wants from the online grocery as a reward for hunting many monsters. Fel chooses many meats, and Mukouda cooks Wagyu beef for Fel. Fel and Mukouda eat together and chat about more food, as they are both food addicts. After eating, Fel is surging with energy and decides to go hunting again. Mukouda uses appraisal and finds Fel gained a 50% boost in his attributes. Fel goes and hunts many monsters while Mukouda sleeps. The next morning, Mukouda wakes up to towers of monsters. One day, Mukouda asks Fel if anyone can use magic, to which Fel says they can. Fel then tries teaching magic to Mukouda, but he is too weak and pathetic. Fel then tells Mukouda that people can improve in battles and suggests he trains in real battles. However, Mukouda refuses like a little child and annoys Fel. Fel grabs Mukouda angrily and searches for enemies. Fel then brings Mukouda to a goblin settlement and provokes them. This helps Mukouda upgrade his level in fire magic, but he passes out. Mukouda is very exhausted after waking up and buys sweets for Fel instead of cooking. Mukouda advises Fel he will get diabetes and cavities if he eats too much sweet, to which Fel tells him he has the wind god's blessing. Fel informs he would not succumb to any disease as long as he has the blessing. Afterwards, Mukouda and Fel decide to head east nearer to the seas. Later, we see Mukouda and Fel arrive at a lake for dinner. Mukouda cooks salmon and trouts for the night. However, he stumbles upon a slime. The slime helps Mukouda digest all the trash. He takes a liking to the slime and becomes its familiar. Mukouda names the slime Sui. One morning, we see Mukouda practicing earth magic, and Fel suggests the battle method again to improve. However, Mukouda outright refuses it. The next morning, Fel informs Mukouda that the goddess Ninrin offers to give him a minor blessing in exchange for weekly sweet offerings. Fel informs Mukouda that the blessing can improve his stats. Mukouda accepts it and offers the goddess an offering and gets the blessing in return. Mukouda finds out he improved his earth magic significantly after the blessing. At the same time, Fel arrives and rushes to bring Mukouda to a disclosed place. They arrive to a newly formed dungeon where Fel forces Mukouda to clear it. He tries to escape but fails. Mukouda and Sui prepare for the dungeon by eating foods from the online grocery to boost their stats. Mukouda and Sui head inside and face all the monsters on each floor. while Fel watches over them. Mukouda improves his earth magic even more but passes out again at the end. After that, Mukouda regains consciousness outside the dungeon and realizes Sui has leveled it up and gained the ability to talk. Later, we see Mukouda and the others traveling through the Orthros and Griffin territories, where they stumbled upon healing mushrooms on the way. Mukouda collects a few, while Sui eats them. Sui evolves into a healing slime and can now produce healing potions. Afterwards, they leave the forest and meet a merchant who is attacked by bandits. Fel makes quick work of them, and Mukouda rides with the merchant named Lambert to the city of Carolina, Kingdom of Leonhardt. There, Mukouda heads to the Adventurers Guild to find out his guild card had expired. Mukouda applies for another guild card and decides to rank up to F-rank adventurer, as F-rank adventurers only need a quest every 3 months. Mukouda is forced to take a goblin hunting quest and ends up slaying a whole colony of goblins. Mukouda provides the proof of slaying goblins at the guild and attracts the attention of the guild master. The guild master offers to upgrade Mukouda into a C-rank adventurer, as a Fenrir's familiar should not be a useless low-ranker. That's a violation there. However, the guild master asks Mukouda to clear a few S-rank quests in return. Afterwards, Mukouda hands the monsters slain by Fel to the guild for meat, to which they are surprised to see rare monsters. The next day, Mukouda gets his C-rank guild card and is rewarded 2,000 gold coins for the monsters and his quest. My man is becoming the new Elon Musk of this world. The guild master then asks them to hunt a metal lizard and a pack of bloody hornbulls, which are classified as S-rank quests. Later that day, Mukouda heads to a store where he meets Lambert, the merchant he saved. Mukouda gets a new bag, pouch, boots, and a belt for 11 gold. However, Lambert insists it's free as Mukouda saved his life, but will charge next time. Lambert also requests Mukouda to save some snakeskins for him, as they're rare and hard to get. The next morning, Fel and Sui make quick work of the S-ranked quest and head to the guild. The guild is shocked to see a mithril lizard, as they are very rare, and tells Mukouda he will be rewarded handsomely. Later that night, as Mukouda is fulfilling his offering to the goddess Ninrin, Ninrin is caught red-handed by the other gods, and they too demand offerings in return for a minor blessing. Mukouda couldn't decline and gets earth and fire blessings. However, Sui is given a blessing from a water god, as Mukouda has no affinity for water magic. The next morning, Sui and Mukouda test their newly acquired blessings and realize they have improved their magic to a non-weakling level, if there is such a level. Later, we see Mukouda and the others head back to the town and meet the guild's butcher. The butcher gives them their reward for the bloody hornbull's quest. However, Mukouda wishes to get the skin and meat from a black serpent Fel hunted a while back. Afterwards, Mukouda visits Lambert and gives the black serpent skin for 50 gold coins. Mukouda chats about soap and shampoo products to Lambert to see if they have any value. However, Lambert is shocked by the quality and tells Mukouda he needed an anniversary gift for his wife. As they chat, Mukouda realizes Lambert has a bathtub. Mukouda had desired to have a relaxing bath for quite a while, but didn't know they existed in this world. Lambert tells him a place where they sell it and asks Mukouda to return next morning to discuss the bath items. The next morning, Mukouda arrives to find Lambert's wife named Miria. Miria liked it so much she persuaded Lambert to sell the items in his store. Although Mukouda hesitates, he prepares a whole batch for them to sell. Later, we see Mukouda at the guild where the guildmaster gives him 5,800 gold coins for the mithril lizard. Mukouda is joyed he can buy a bathtub, but the moment is interrupted by a flock of wyverns attacking their city. Mukouda tries to avoid the fight, but Fel intervenes and makes quick work of them. Mukouda arrives back at the guild and receives the wyvern meat. Afterwards, Mukouda purchases a bathtub and goes to a forest outside the town to bathe. Mukouda is delighted and cooks wyvern tonkatsu for dinner. At the same time, Fel arrives with an earth dragon, and Mukouda is worried how he will dispose of it next. Mukouda forces Fel to take a bath before eating, and they all enjoy their dinner. The next day, Mukouda asks the guild if they can butcher the earth dragon. However, they were not skilled for a dragon and advise them to head to Dolan, where they could find a guildmaster fit for the job. Mukouda felt relieved as it was on the way to the seas. Before Mukouda leaves, he visits his fellow friends and gives extra goods to Lambert. Mukouda and the others then head on their journey to Dolan. The anime ends there, and I'm sure we might get the next season soon. So make sure to subscribe to not miss out. Comment on what anime I have to recap next, and I will see you on the next one. So check these out. It will really help me create more of these videos. Really appreciate your help.